I want you to make a ton of money with your drone the rest of 2025. So I'm going to break down how you can do that and take things to the next level with your drone business this year. All right, let's dive in today. I want to make this super tactical for you so that way you can really make the best of the next Q3 and Q4 of 2025. If you don't know me, my name is Jacob. I am the drone coach. Just actually got some merch, so wearing it today. Follow me on Instagram if you're not already doing that, if you're wanting regular tips on how to make money flying drones. So what I've learned over the last 7 years after building my business in multiple states, getting to 6 figures a year and doing that consistently for the last couple of years, after helping 100 plus other drone pilots, really what I've learned is once you get the 107, which if you haven't gotten that already, definitely do that. You legally need that to operate professionally, commercially in the United States. And once you've mastered the equipment, otherwise, if you don't know how to fly a drone, why would you ever expect someone to pay you money to do it? You want to be the master at every piece of equipment that you have when you're flying. Once you master that, really it comes down to marketing mastery. It comes down to getting your name out there because unfortunately, people don't just start banging down your door once you get the 107 and now you know what you're doing. We've got to market. Now, there's great effective inbound strategies on how to market, which is what I teach, but there's also the outbound strategy, which is really, really important. And I would say most people, when they get into marketing their business, when it comes to outbound, they either think quantity or quality. And I want to break these two down and what I recommend for you moving forward, what's helped for me. So starting out with quantity, when you do quantity, it's basically like getting a list of thousands of emails and then spamming them and saying, here, I can fly drones for you. This is what I do, blah, blah, blah. We build awareness, but it potentially turns into spam. People potentially don't want to hire us. And there's a lot of numbers behind that, but it's not an effective approach to actually connect with decision makers. Now, what I did from the beginning of my business, I started with quality because one, I didn't have a ton of time. I had just gotten married, was working full time already, and had a limited amount of time to start building my business, which I'm sure that's kind of probably what you're dealing with as well. And it was like, how can I make quality work for my business? Quality really comes down to you building effective relationships with decision makers in companies that would benefit from your service. Because at the end of the day, we are in business to business. We are in a B2B market, B2B industry. Most people, I'd say probably 95% of my clients or your clients are hiring you because they want their business to benefit in some way. From the analysis, from making effective decisions, from seeing what's going on a job site, to the marketing aspect of things, making them more money or improving safety. And so at the end of the day, if that's what we're doing, if that's what we're targeting, which is B2B, we can't just spam thousands and thousands of emails or people online. We've got to build relationships with those decision makers. And that really comes down to the quality aspect, which is building that rapport. See, even when I do outbound and I'm reaching out to someone cold, I actually make a quality approach instead of just making a blanket approach. I figure out what would be the best benefit from them hiring me, what would be the best service, and then I pitch them on it basically. I tell them, hey, this is what I can do for you. I build awareness and I try to make it specific to their project, their company needs, what I think would help them specifically. And that's a way better effective approach because it shows them that I care, right? People don't want to work with you unless they know you, like you, and trust you. And so marketing step one is just build awareness, making sure that they know you, and then educating our prospects on what we can do for them, which is really the oh, okay, I understand it. I'm interested in what you're doing. And then the trust really comes down to me showing up and showing them that I can take care of them, that I do actually care about them across the table. It's not just another client to me. This is someone that I want to partner up with. And so when we pick the quality approach, a lot of times people get stuck because maybe they've tried it once or twice. They're like, all right, I'm just going back to quantity. I'm just going to spam a bunch of people and hope for the best, fingers crossed. And that rarely works. But what we need to do with the quality approach is we just need to put volume behind it. One thing I did when I started was I went to weekly networking meetings so that way I could build, rapport, trust, have FaceTime with these decision makers every single week. And that built my business from the ground up in 2018. That built relationships with decision makers and helped me just be better at business and learn what I needed to do and how I could pitch better. That really came with quality, but putting the volume behind it. So you may have gone to a networking event, you may have met with someone, you may have had like a coffee with someone you thought was going to bring you business and then it didn't. And then now you're like, okay, well, I don't think that's going to help me. That's not going to help my business. Well, it will. It's just we've got to put volume, we've got to put numbers behind the quality that you're doing. So it's like, how many meetings can you go to? How many people can you talk with? How many people can you connect with and have that custom touch approach? Because you're not this crazy entity that's like super big. You're probably a solopreneur. You're building your business yourself. And that means that you're the chief marketing officer. No one else is marketing it for you. And so we've got to back that up by having that custom approach, showing people that we actually care. Because at the end of the day, like most people don't really care about their clients. And so if you can just start out by showing, hey, I care about what you're doing. I care about when we team up, the service that I provide you, I want to make sure that it's really good. And this is why I recommend this service over this service. This is why I recommend this product versus this thing that I could just sell you and make more money on. It's the effective approach because every industry is different, but also every client's different. And that means that our pitch has to be tailored. So what I tell my pilots in the program is, when you're starting the lead process, when someone comes in is interested in what you do, maybe you talk to them or they reached out, then you want to start with just figuring out why they would need your service, how they could benefit. That comes with just asking questions and building just that rapport. That shows them that you care, but it also shows, it figures out a way where this is what we need to do. This is the service that's going to be beneficial for you. So we've got to be able to do that. And instead of the quantity where we're just spamming a bunch of people, because I'm sure you've gotten emails over the years every day, probably, where it's just spam like, hey, here's how I can take your ranking on Google to the, number one spot. Well, why don't we click on those? Why don't we actually hire those people? Because it seems generic. It seems basic. It seems like they can't be trusted. And in a world where everyone is doubting, where no one is really trusting anybody right now, you've got to be able to show up and show that you can be trusted. How do you do that? By building rapport and showing that you can, you are going to be a reliable source for drone services as a drone service provider. So, super important. Pick the quality over quantity. Pick the quality, go out and talk to people. What I recommend for you, it's start doing that today, take action, but also put numbers behind it, put volume behind it, because you're never going to get anywhere if you only talk to one person. Even if I talk to one person a week, that's 50 people in a year. It's July right now, so we're halfway through the year. So that means that 25 people, if I talk to one person once a week, will learn about my stuff. 25. Maybe one of those people hires me, but if I can put volume behind that and talk to 50, 100, 150, like how many people can I actually talk to, build rapport with, and show, hey, this is why I think we could benefit your business with the quality approach. We've got numbers on our side now. And now we can use the quality to benefit our business, because in the end of the day, like I said, we are B2B. We're not B2C. And so we've got to have the effective marketing strategy on our outbound process to show up to find B2B clients. So moving forward this week, go out and take action. Actually talk to people. Get FaceTime with people. Get FaceTime with decision makers in industries that you want to work in and figure out what their needs are, and then build just the quality approach with volume behind it. And if you're wanting daily tips and tricks on how to make money flying drones, be sure to follow me on Instagram. If you're also looking to price your services effectively, that's probably the question that I get asked most out of anything else is, how do I price my services effectively? I actually built what's called the Drone Pricing Blueprint, and I can send it over to you for $27. It's a mini course where I walk through pricing aspects that you need to know. I make it very practical. You can get through it in less than an hour. And I also give you the pricing estimator tool that I use to build out my custom packages and my standard packages. You can have that plug and play, so that way you know how to price like a pro and feel confident in the numbers that you're giving. So I'll put the link in the description below, so that way you can click on it. It's 27 bucks. I mean, super easy, super simple for you to do, and should be really, really value packed for you to start actually, quoting jobs like a professional and making more money flying drones. So at the end of the day, my goal, like I said from the beginning of this video, I want you to make money with your drone this year. So at the end of the day, I need you to take action if you're going to do that. But thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.